What gets you moving?
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
You'll have the energy to skate through anything. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
Kick the soccer ball around.
or ride your bike.
carve out some time every day to get moving.
But do it your way.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. Just get active.
Wrap it up.
Move it your way and be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
That's www.letsmove.gov.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office. Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN Television. We're also carried by a number of our radio affiliates throughout Fairfield County. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week. This show is actually shot on site at Fairfield Christian Academy by their audiovisual group, and they do a terrific job. JT Burcham, along with all the students here at the school, actually produced this program, put it together for us each and every week, and do appreciate them and their good job. Behind the scenes, Kelly Roberts, our executive producer, that lines up the guests, gets a lot of the questions together. And back, second week in a row, is Deputy Trena Kohler. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Glad to take time out of your schedule, and you go, aren't you?
I stay busy.
Stay busy all the time. And again, Deputy Kohler's our Deputy of the Year. She had a lot of interesting things to tell us last week. And some of the cases that you worked, you talked about a large burglary ring that you were instrumental in getting the bad guys, about 40 burglaries in our county alone, plus people up in burglaries in Zanesville and out of state, all kind of stuff.
That's true.
And how long did that case take?
I know that, I spoke about the chief of I had the privilege of working with the chief of Zanesville, and he had been in law enforcement from Perry County. They both advised me that they had been looking and investigating them for the past 3 years. So it was quite a length of time.
Major case.
Right.
Then.
It was very satisfying that...
Yeah. So what was the big break? What was one of the big breaks that helped close the case?
Deputy Marty Norris, the chief of Zanesville, had given some information to myself and to Deputy Norris, and we had been looking for their vehicle, and he made a traffic stop, and I assisted him, and that's how we were able to locate where they were staying at and recover victims' property from 3 different counties.
Wow. Boy, big case. And that case is pending now?
It is, yes. Yeah. Yes.
So exciting. So what are some other cases that you did this past year?
There was another burglary ring. It was male and female, and I think it was also around 30 to 40 homes that they had burglary just in the area that I work. And
what area do you work?
Sugar Grove, Bremen, and the Rushville area.
Okay.
And I know that the Bureau had been looking for them, and I was able to get a vehicle description. And I had been looking for this vehicle for months, and I was assisting Lancaster on a call, and I passed the vehicle. I was running lights and sirens. It was a burglary call. I was assisting Lancaster on, and they failed to get over. They failed to stop, and so at the same time, Lancaster had canceled me, and I was able to do a traffic stop.
Wow.
And that is how that happened.
And those were the burglars, huh?
They were.
Yes.
And Lieutenant Vorse was in the area, and he assisted me on that, and it was very successful. So it was unusual to have a female,
as one of the burglars.
As one of the to be to be one of the main suspects, but she was, and so it was very gratifying to put an end to that.
Now, most of the individuals that you arrest are for these theft-related offenses, are they addicted to heroin or opiates or some of these drugs?
They are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. I would say 99% of them
That's amazing.
have a drug problem. Yes.
That is amazing. That really is. And, even in the Fairfield County Jail, what we found, at least with our female prisoners in the last few years, is they're almost all addicted. It's pretty amazing.
It's true. Yeah.
So that is really what's driving, like the burglaries and those kind of things.
And when we do interview them, they do notify us that they have a drug problem,
Yeah.
and that is why, they were committing the crimes, and most all of them want help.
Right.
They ask for help, and so I mean it's a bad thing to have them arrested, but at the same time, they're going to be receiving some help.
That's a good point. I get a lot of calls over the course of a year where moms or parents will call in, say they're worried about their kids because they're in jail and they've been on drugs. And I tell them that's probably the safest place they can be.
Absolutely.
Because if they're out getting in trouble, they might be overdosing. So right now, until they get that addiction under control, jail's not a bad place to be. It's safe.
That's true, and they're alive, and that's
Yeah.
right.
Now, being a mom of a couple of daughters, what do parents need to be telling these kids? Because that's the sad part. I think once they start with this heroin or opiates, it's very hard to get off of it. They get addicted very quickly. What are some things a parent needs to do, or you being outside of your role as a deputy, as a mom?
We have an open line of communication. They don't always want that, especially when they become teenagers. They don't always want to answer all of my questions, but I stay persistent, and we talk about everything, and we talk about the results, and the consequences of their actions, and what their goals are in life. And in order to achieve their goals, you're not going to be able to do drugs. You're not going to be able to be around people who do drugs. And they come to me and ask me questions, and we always sit down and have a talk. And I think talking and being observant.
Right.
It's so easy to take your child's word at something because, you don't ever want to think that your child's being dishonest to you. And sometimes it's easier just to take their word. But you have to be observant. You need to check their rooms. You need to check their cell phones. Sure, they're going to tell you it's an invasion of privacy. But you know what? When you get out on your own, you have all the privacy you want. But check their rooms. Check their phone. Be aware where they're at. If they're spending the night with a friend, call that friend's parents. Make sure the friend's parents are going to be home. Make sure there's going to be an adult there. And they, I'm sure they don't appreciate that, but they will later on when they become parents. And it's my job to see them be successful adults.
Right. And you're having pretty good success
so
far.
I am very blessed with
Yeah.
2 wonderful children.
I think that, when you talk about talking to your kids, and I think so many parents, because you're right, we're blinded sometimes to our own kids. We want to always see the best, but until you're asking those questions and doing those kind of things. I'm reminded on a personal note that when I grew up, my dad smoked cigarettes. And I can remember my mom saying, when you grow up, I hope you do not start smoking like your dad. And she would tell me that over and over and over again because it was really something that she found offensive and it was just part of the culture. But when, and teenagers experiment, but I could still hear my mom's voice in my ears, and I never did smoke. And so I really attribute that to a lot of what a lot of my friends say, hey, come on, let's start, they're smoking and stuff. I can still hear mom telling me that. So that kind of stuff, although I didn't always want to hear it, but, being a non-smoker, I'm very glad that what my mom did, 60 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
My daughter said, Mom, we act like we don't listen to you. She goes, but it's always in the back of our mind what you say. And so, I do know that they hear what I say. They may not always appreciate it or act like it, but
Last week we talked about okay, I almost forgot. If you look back on your career, now over 20 years, which is hard to believe, is there any particular call or any particular situation that kind of comes to mind where you said, this was kind of something that's kind of ingrained in my mind? I know you've had a lot of different ones.
I have. I mean, I've had a lot of sad, but I've also had a lot of good. And there's a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I couldn't really pinpoint just one, but there's a lot of sadness. But at the same time, when I think that I have seen everything there is to see, something will come along and it changes. But there's just been so many, and I see a lot of compassion. You don't see a lot of people say, you don't see a lot of good things, but I do. I've seen a lot of compassion from the community, and it always makes me be encouraged and thankful for the things that I have and for my family. And
I think the community in Fairfield County really appreciates the law enforcement. Don't you find that they really respect what you're doing?
Honored.
They're very nice, and
It is,
and they want to
yes.
be helpful. There's not too many people that are kind of nasty.
I am honored to serve this county, and I think we have wonderful citizens, and I'm very proud of them.
Right.
And for the way they assist our office, and I couldn't be more proud to work here, and my coworkers in our department. I feel very privileged.
I've said it many times over the course of the year, we track the number of complaints we get, the number of citizen compliments, and for every complaint I get, I probably get 15 or 20 compliments. So it's just like every day we get compliments. And so I think it speaks volumes to the men and women of the Sheriff's Office. We have very few areas where we have to discipline people, and most of the people, once they join the Sheriff's Office, it's kind of a lifetime commitment. They get ingrained in the community. They start making a lot of friends.
That's true.
And so they stay. It's
true.
not like where you have a lot of turnover.
That's true. I know our patrol division has, I know that I've had a lot of positive things that happened this past year, and a lot of successful apprehensions this year, but it's an office as whole. And our patrol division, we're very supportive of each other, very encouraging. Deputy Norris and Deputy Ratcliffe have 25 years of experience, and they're constantly demonstrating and sharing their knowledge with us. So we're always learning something new every day.
Right.
We have wonderful supervisors. Our communication division, sometimes
I think that's the toughest job. The radio room, the communication is one of the toughest jobs.
Sometimes we give them very limited to work with, and they work their magic, and they are able to provide us with the information that we need to continue our investigation and to pursue our charges. And they work so very hard. And I'm just extremely proud of our department and the employees that I work with.
Well, we're very proud of you.
Thank you.
About out of time. Deputy Trena Kohler with us here for the last couple weeks. Our Deputy of the Year made a lot of huge, in fact, I didn't even remember being that big, burglary arrests, rings operate in our county during this past year. God bless you. Appreciate you being here. Well, the clock on the wall says we're about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and certainly the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy to put this program together. Until next week, same time, same place. If you're driving, buckle up. God bless, and we'll see you right here next week.
When it comes to choosing a school, parents who want the best education for their students look for academic excellence, skilled teachers, a safe school that encourages their values. Students want a school with competitive athletics, unique opportunities, and friendships that last a lifetime. Fairfield Christian Academy, the place where parents and students agree. Enrolling now at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.